I wanted to begin this series of conversations in Catholic healthcare with the most basic question of all. Why does it exist, and what are its origins? And it's a question I want to pose to Cardinal Thomas Collins, who's the Archbishop of Toronto. When I raised this with Cardinal Collins, he suggested we have our conversation not in his office and not in the magnificent St. Michael's Cathedral, which is above us, but down here in the crypt of the cathedral, quite literally among the foundations of the church in this city.
In the spring of 1847, a young bishop, Michael Power, the first bishop of this diocese, journeyed across to Ireland to get help for his little diocese in the town of Toronto of 20,000 people. And he did do that. He found priests to help, religious sisters to help, and many others. But as he was riding along the roads of Ireland, he looked around. He noticed, he saw so many Irish poor people, peasants, dying at the side of the road, in great need because of the famine which had come upon their land. And so, like the Good Samaritan in the parable of Jesus, he decided to try to help them as best way he could. So he knew they were coming to Canada. Many would come across the ocean in these little ships. So he hastened back to Toronto to organize help for them. Working together with the Anglicans and the Methodists and many other religious groups, he put together a reception as these 40,000 Irish refugees, many of them desperately ill with typhoid, arrived on the lake shore of Toronto in that horrible summer of 1847. Michael Power tended to their spiritual needs. He celebrated Mass for them at the little wooden church of St. Paul. And he would come every day to the fever sheds which he had organized, the first real way of helping people in such distress. He cared for them day by day, until finally on October the 1st, 1847, he died at the age of 42, having himself contracted typhoid from his loving care of those who were suffering. And he is buried here, underneath the cathedral he dreamed of and he had begun to build. He wanted to have a place of worship, but he also wanted to have a place of healing. And to that and many others who came, at the other end of this chapel, which we have placed underneath the cathedral, we see the tomb of 4 Loretto sisters who came in their early 20s and met him just before he died. And they themselves gave their lives in caring for those who were sick, those who were in need. And a little later, we have Mother Delphine Fonfon of the St. Joseph Sisters, who also founded the great place of mercy and love, providence, and who herself, like Michael Power, gave her life in the service of those who were sick. To see the face of Christ in those who are in need, to be attentive to those at the side of the road, not those who strong and powerful stride down the center of the road, but those who have stumbled, those who have fallen. When you see the people who are sculpted in the sculpture in the lakeshore of those who came off the boats in that terrible summer of 1847, they seem to have no dignity. They are wretched physically. They are thin and emaciated, in agony and pain. But their dignity is deep within them. And it was recognized by the people who welcomed them to this little town of Toronto in that summer of 1847, and who gave their lives for them. This is why we have Catholic healthcare.